Hey! What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Purpose for Forever. We appreciate you guys rocking with us and hanging with us. What you doing?
Go ahead, keep talking.
So today we are talking about celebrating your spouse, and kind of the intricacies of are you celebrating for you, or are you celebrating for them, or are you celebrating based on what you want to see, what they want to see, what anybody want to see. We're going to dig into that today.
Yeah.
It seems like we both of us are a little tired, so just bear with us as we go through
I'm a lot
tonight.
tired.
So this going to probably be a hot 30, maybe a hot 15, could be a hot 10. But hang tight. Hold on, and we'll be right.
Which one is
it? The basic.
Me and you together, our purpose for forever. Won't let nothing ever tear us apart. Me and you together, our purpose for forever. Won't let nothing ever tear us apart. Me and you together, our purpose.
I'm back. Wait, hold on.
This episode is brought to you by StreamYard. Whether you're trying to up your production or just go live, StreamYard is the place to be. Go to bit.ly/StreamYardBOL. This episode is also brought to you by Flocknote. Start your free text community now at bit.ly/free text now. That's bit.ly/free text now.
Hi, I'm finished. Hi, guys. Welcome to our show tonight.
Yes.
So, this was kind of like...
Hey, Keita.
This is kind of like my idea, sort of, kind of. So, AD, this guy right here, he just turned 45. Yesterday was his birthday. And so over the weekend, I threw him a surprise birthday party.
Surprise!
Right. And so, during the course of planning this party, I realized a couple of things, or I guess I thought about a couple of things. There's people that he like that I don't like. Not that, okay, maybe Fletcher. Maybe not that I don't like, but if it was for me, I really wouldn't care if they were there. Maybe that's the more proper way to say it. So during, the course of planning the party, when I was going through the list of who to invite, a couple of times, I had to go back and say, okay, I'm gonna send it to this one, send it to that one. And it, I kept having to remind myself that the party was about him. It wasn't about me. It really wasn't about, what I wanted or what I liked, or who I wanted to be there, or who I think, should be in the building. And I was like, wow. Like, I wondered, I wondered if previously when I had did things for him, if it was about him or if it was more about me. Like, if I did things, always with kind of what I wanted and what I liked in mind. And that was like a mind-blowing thing for me that, it really kind of made me look at things that I had done in previous years. So I figured, what better place to talk about it than with you guys?
All right.
So that's kind of how we came up with the topic. I know sometimes, like, he and I, technically, we've been together since we were 19. As I said, he's 45. We have 2 kids. So we've been a part of each other's life for a very long time. And a lot of times, it's Christmas. Okay, you gotta buy your husband something. Then you have kids. Okay, it's Christmas. Oh, you gotta buy daddy something.
Right.
But how many times do we really, really, take that extra minute to say, let's get daddy or let's get husband what he wants?
Right.
Not necessarily, oh, well, I like this, he'll like this too, or he better act like he like it.
Right.
So I thought, like I said, it's something that we could definitely talk about and just hear some of you guys' opinions
Right.
or comments or questions and kind of hear, how he felt. Because to be honest, I don't even know if he ever wanted a party because he didn't really ever have a party. We never talked about doing a birthday party. So you guys are going to hear with me for the first time, I guess, kind of what the experience was like. Take it away.
All right. So for me, so I never really had a party. I grew up, more or less in the Jehovah's Witness home. And, if you've heard before, my dad was kind of anti-Jehovah's Witness, but, in usual old school fashion, my mom was the planner, so she did. So I got presents. So let me be clear. Let me not shame my parents or at least shame my dad. Like he always blessed me with something every year. May 9th, he got me something for a gift, and good stuff. I got it from my aunt and my grandmother. So I got presents. I just never had a party. In my head, I vaguely remember a cake. I don't know if my dad just felt it and bought me a cake. And I remember coming home and it was a cake sitting in the kitchen table. Dad's old school when it comes to the having sit down talks and just regular conversation with your kids. It just, really didn't happen like that. He'd tell me stuff, impart wisdom, don't do this, do this. But as far as just flat out conversations, we didn't have much of that. So just cake was there. I was like, I guess that's my birthday cake, but other than that, never had a party. So of course, getting married, they, wife does celebration, the kids can do stuff and they bring presents and hey, birthday, they sing the song, everybody, I think last year was probably like close to a party, but it was like just family, kind of COVID party coming together and they sang, but I never had an official kind of right. Yeah, boy. Right. So, it was great. So what I will say, she surprised me completely. I had no idea. Cause she threw me off the scent, by telling me, cause she was over at, our sister's house. No, I'm not. I'm just saying she was just at the sister's house. She was just telling me stuff going on over there. And I just like, why should, they all over there. Like, cause she gave me a day. She's like, get your own day by yourself. So, it was overnight and then it was during the day. I was like, this is kind of different. But, I was like, she's just planning something. And plus with, Mr. Fletcher there, Mr. I thought something was happening on Sunday, like a cookout. Cause she's like, yeah, I'm bringing everybody. We're gonna have a little cookout or something. I was like, yeah, that's cool. So I had no idea. So Saturday, she's driving. I think we just going to the restaurant. She said someone else is gonna be there. So I'm going in my head, who could be here that I haven't seen or whatever. And I was just, a couple of people that I knew would probably show up. And I come in and open my eyes and surprise, everybody's there. And it's a space that we was gonna have the wedding at and all that. And it was, I'm sharing backstory.
A long way around the bush.
But the question was,
right, there was a question.
We got time. We at least got 45 minutes. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was great. I'm gonna post a video up. I meant to post it earlier, but I'm gonna post it up sometime today or tonight. But yeah, it was great. It was awesome. Did I ever want a party? I just never thought about it. If that makes sense, like it's it's one of those things like it'd be nice, but like it's you don't make it kind of like you don't make it a goal. I guess set yourself up to be disappointed in a sense. if I probably pressed and say, you know what I always wanted, she probably would have made it happen years ago, with whatever friends I might have been or whoever I might have been connected with, and that was another thing because I had old friends scattered everywhere, and I had very few that usually every place we moved we had a few people that I was associated. Most people had a job, but never really any relationships. So yeah, so it was surprising. It was great. It was nice, and I loved it. And
Okay.
she really, I'm a little hot still.
God.
I'm just explaining.
Okay.
I'm done.
What? I didn't say anything. Okay, so most of the time,
Right. Right.
make sure. Oh, put the comment up.
Oh yeah, I got you. He's right. He tired, boss. He said most of the time men make sure everybody else is good and really don't think of themselves. Think of ourselves.
Yeah, but is that the norm? Is that the way that it should be?
Right.
Like, so do you feel like you've always been in that position where you've always had to think about us and us never really think about you?
I think no. I mean, you've always tried to, in a crazy sense, push me to think about myself. When it comes to like birthdays and time. Like what do you want? What do you want to happen? The things that you want to see. Hey,
Tina.
So I think for that, but for the most part, I don't know. I guess I don't think about myself like in that term. Like I may think about like I guess now think about something I need for this or that, a little toy, a little something, but I don't usually think in terms of someone planning something for me or getting something,
Who is someone? I am not someone.
No, I'm just saying as far as you go.
I'm just saying.
Or you getting me something or planning something. I think I try not to be a hassle because I know how aggravating doing certain things are. Like you did a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you miss because we do things together so much.
Right.
So
right. So let's just clarify. Yes, it was a lot, but it was only a lot in the sense that, like you see, we do this broadcast together. Yes, we have separate things that we do on there. But even when I'm on here, he's a holler away. Like so we kind of do everything together. Right. So the hardest part of doing the party was that I didn't have my sidekick, my go-to. Right. Like some things he already know, like when I'm putting something together, like there's, spaces that he fills in because he knows, say I'm like this and she want to do this and I want to do that. Right. So I already have the person that I don't have to feed every step to. Right. So that was the only thing that was hard about the parties because now I have to tell other people exactly how to help me. Where when it's you and I, we just work together seamlessly. Yeah.
And I think it's just, I don't want to feel like a burden sometimes. I think that's, like, I don't know, just, like I should be saying what I want. I should at least put out the ask or the, hey, you know what I always wanted? Blah, 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 blah. At least give you an opportunity to do it. And then sometimes I might think about it, but I either forget or push to the side, and just, and I think it's within myself to feel like, I guess, am I important enough to ask for it? And I'm serious, like,
okay.
I don't know, like, we should, right? You're helping your fam, you here, you make things happen, why not ask?
Oh, look, it's my sister, what she said. It's hard to determine a sense of self when you're always together. And how do you tell your significant other needs space because it is a is
Burdening
burdening
sometimes.
sometimes. I mean, I think you tell them. Like, I would rather honestly, I would rather him say, "Hey, I need a day,"
Right.
than me always being in his face and he's like, we trying to watch a movie and I'm like this and he's like,
Right.
I mean, I think relationships. I saw something on Facebook. Somebody posted, and it said something like, in a relationship, you have to be able to have the hard conversations.
Right.
And sometimes it's hard saying to somebody, babe, I need, some space. Like I'll tell him, hey, I need my own air. Can I breathe my own air? I mean, I know to other people that may sound hard, but he understands what I mean, that I need some time. And he'll be like, I don't care, I'm going in the other room. And he'll go off, and leave me to have my own air.
Right.
I think it's important sometimes to have that. But I mean, if you can't be honest with the person, that you're married to or you're in a relationship or have children with, then I feel like, there has to be a fix to that. Like, something has to change. Something has to be maneuvered. We done shared children. We done shared, that's the ultimate right there. You done gave me a seed. I done gave you this baby. Like, that really should be like the ultimate bond right there. So I should literally be able to tell you anything. It may not be easy, but sometimes it's necessary.
Yeah, I think the sharing of what I want may be, I guess, sometimes the hardest. And I don't know, like it shouldn't be. It just, I should be able to just tell you what I want, and that be it, and if it's desire, like, any desires you have, like, I always wanted to go to Spain, I always wanted to have a party at the tower, in Atlanta or something, and I think, sometimes you just get so caught up in looking at your right now that you feel like it can't happen, or it's hard to happen, or like it'll be a lot of work, or, and so I going past this party, especially going into 45 now, I'm gonna get into a place where I'm gonna tell her more, like, because I see things, like I said, I see stuff, or I hear something, or, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I don't put it anywhere, like I don't save it. I don't take a picture. I don't send it to her like, hey, what do you think of this? I see
like everything you tell me you want, I always get it. Like I get everything. I got all this stuff.
I get it. No, and I'm not saying I get it. But, like I said, I see things and I don't think about it. And let me be clear. I'm not saying she doesn't push to make it happen. She won't do whatever she can, whatever deal she got to cut to make things happen. Because she's made a lot of stuff happen, honestly, in the last 3 years. And why the last 3 years? Because, I've needed a lot more. And I've expressed a lot more.
That's one way of saying it.
I've expressed it a lot more. This is what I'm trying to do. Oh, it'd be cool if I had. I need this. Would be nice. So I've expressed it a lot more. I think, for the other years, it's just we've moved. There's just so much that I kind of just, I take the minimum. I just push down and, and then I felt like, honestly, because I wasn't being the best husband, you start feeling like you really deserve it, and you start questioning. So whatever she did, it was good. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a lot of different factors, but I feel like as a man, you get, I don't know, I think you just get used to just, you minimize yourself, so any guy on here, I would encourage you to challenge or just talk to your wife about things that you desire, things that you would like, because sometimes it'll open her eyes to seeing other sides of who you are. So it's encouraging. Just have the conversation, have those conversations, have the good conversation. These are the good ones. Like, hey, what are things that we haven't done that you would like to do? What kind of birthday would you like to have? Because I'm sure guys probably may have the wife may be doing certain things for his birthday that he might have liked years ago, but he's not saying anything, and they still doing the birthday. And he'd be like, I haven't liked that in 10 years. Like, she's doing this work, and you like it's not getting maximizing the time. No one stays the same. Yeah, definitely. And that's why you got to have those conversations about what you like, what you enjoy, things that you want to do. She expresses to me a lot, when I ask anyway. But yeah, it's knowing what your significant other wants.
Okay.
I'm waiting for you to say something.
You waiting for me? I don't know what you want me to say. I'm listening to you because you're like, oh, as a man, you push yourself. I don't know. That's like a man thing, really? Is that what happens? Like, because you're a man, you don't talk about what you want?
I guess. The guys we've spoken about it on Brothers Legacy. I'm just saying, like, I think, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why we get in that space. I don't know. And like anything, it's not everybody. I guess there are some that probably doesn't why they got a laundry list of stuff they desire.
Really, you just gonna keep up with the yep? I'm gonna need more than one word, Fletcher. I'm gonna need like a whole sentence. You got to follow up the yep with something else. Because when you say it like that, it makes it seem like the man is the one in the relationship that doesn't get to express what he wants. But the woman gets to do something different. That's what I'm saying. When you make a distinction that men don't do, it's because the women do. That's kind of how I see it. If you listen to your partner, you'll find out things. They're like, absolutely. Listen, that's big. How do you become patient with constant repetition? What I mean by that is when you constantly have to tell your significant other dislike, like desires, and he took a little bit lie. So, okay, so you probably gonna get me into trouble, but we just gonna ride this out. So, for a long time, he really wasn't the best at stuff that I like. Like when it came to gifts or whatever. And I'm not a big person that asks for anything. Hardly ever. I don't really ask for stuff. Right. That was the point I was trying to make, Keita. Like, it's not just or whatever. I think some of that happens when you have kids. You definitely push yourself to the back burner for the kids. Right. But for a long time I used to think, like, I told him blue my favorite color and he would bring me home something purple. And I think sometimes, people want to get it right so bad that it's kind of like a mad dash. It's like, I got to get something. And it's like, well, I would like this. Maybe he wasn't listening. Maybe some things come with time. It could be, the way it's said or at the moment that it's said. Giving, I always feel like, and this is a personal Samantha thing, I feel like, the same way you raise your children and you teach them manners, I think as a parent, you have to teach your children how to give gifts to people. Let me explain what I mean. When your kids come up, you take them, we have to get this for daddy. Like, I tell my kids, daddy likes this and daddy likes that, so we're going to buy this. Oh, Nana likes this, so let's get that. So, like, every time my mom comes, the kids are like, are we going to get some nuts for Nana? Because, she like nuts. And, my son's like, well, Nana like mangoes. I teach them how to think about things that people like. And so I feel like sometimes if you aren't raised, if you aren't taught, it could be a slow learning curve. So it could take a while to get it. If gifts was never a big thing in your family, if you weren't taught how to get gifts, if you weren't given a lot of gifts, it can be hard to get. And no, that's not an excuse. Unfortunately, things we are taught or not taught can take longer for us to learn as we become adults. He said, when I was married, as long as they was fine, I was good because I
bought me what I wanted.
I was,
See that?
you know what? I was cautious about reading a comment out loud. That's why I was trying to read it in my head first because I knew somewhere it was going to be something smart. But like you said, that didn't work because obviously you weren't fine.
Right.
You know, you're saying, you know, oh, I'm fine. But I'm just gonna make sure y'all good. As long as y'all good, I'm good.
Right.
But that's wasn't the truth.
Right. And you're missing. It's like because you have to talk in your own head like they don't care, but you ain't said nothing. You know, like
right.
You haven't expressed it. You just kind of.
And then you put your spouse at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm the type of person I feel like that's foolish.
Yeah.
Like me personally, I wouldn't take that for like even when he said, "Oh, I don't really want nothing." More times than not, I've already figured out what I'm going to get him. I just want. He said that's real sick, right? It didn't work, but I mean, but I feel like you know, not to call you the L word, but you was kind of lying. Mm. You was lying about what you were feeling because you weren't good. Yeah. No, you did it because you feel like a man's supposed to provide. Right. I'm a man, I provide. You know, like men don't have desires and needs and wants, and you do. And you put your spouse at a disadvantage when you don't express those things. You know, I know everybody's heard you teach people how to treat you. So even in a marriage, if I'm married to you and all you ever say is, "Nah, I'm good as long as you're good," right. I feel like you train your spouse to be selfish. Because she gets to the point that all she think about is what she wants.
So it's the break in communication for if we don't discuss or learn the person, then yes, it will fail.
Right. It's you have to give people, you know, you have to teach people how to treat you. I mean, same for, you know, Joy, the same thing. I know it's hard to repeat yourself. It gets annoying. It can be annoying. But listen, you bought me this purple thing. I might keep it because it's cute. Right. But I told you last time I like blue. Right. So next year we need to work on blue, dude, because I don't like purple. Right. You know, sometimes you just have to remind people. It gets frustrating, but relationships can be frustrating. You know, the same way you're changing all the time, they changing all the time. But now I got to keep up with my changes. I got to keep up with his changes, and then we got 2 kids and keep up with their changes. Right. And I know you may be like, "Well, I do it right," but it's not easy. Right? Just, you know, there's several things that I do, but I don't require that of him, or I don't even expect that of him. Like when I was planning the party, Fletcher himself, I was talking to him on the phone one day, and he said, "You know, he'll never be able to do a surprise birthday party for you, right?" He said, "I'm just saying, I want you to know." You know, like he already said, before you get some fancy ideas, Sam, don't have this expectation of him. Even though I wouldn't, because it is a big task. Like, you know, he said it. And when he said it, I kind of laughed because he was right.
It's a part-time job.
Girl, it's a full-time job.
Some relationships that most of the time the man adapt to the woman, and for a girl, what they really want to lose themselves in the relationship. Saying the man adapts into what the woman wants.
Really? Is that what you mean? Because a lot of times I feel like, I know in my relationship, and we've talked about this, a lot of times I feel like I get swallowed up into him. Right. Like, you know, everything is kind of what he got going on. Like I can't plan anything. I can't do anything because I got to figure out what his schedule is, what he doing, what you doing, Brothers of Legacy, what you doing over here with the ministry, what you doing over here with, you know, I feel like I always kind of caught in his win.
I've noticed in relationships that the man most likely, or adapt to the woman and forego what they desire, that leads to a break in communication.
I mean, I think anytime you forego who you are
Right.
and just push yourself to the sidelines, I think that's always going to create
Right.
friction somewhere. Because somewhere down the line, all your feelings and all of your emotions that you just bottle it and all your wants and desires, you bottle it up. And eventually, that bottle is going to become so full
Right.
that it is going to ooze out. And then it's like, where'd all this come from?
Right.
You didn't say this 10 years ago.
Right.
And then there's a problem. And for us, we feel rooted
In
in
their
the needs
needs
and
and
wants,
wants.
and it's hard to break free.
But
But neither of us see it that way.
way.
Well, relationships can definitely become codependent, where,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of like a vicious cycle. For a long time, he could tell you we were on like the hamster wheel.
Right.
That's why we got to get off the hamster wheel. We just
Right.
keep going
Mhm.
round and round and round. Now, of course, my way of getting off the hamster wheel was divorce.
Right.
It worked. We got off the wheel. But
Shut the wheel down.
yeah, we got off the wheel, dismantled it,
Yeah.
took it apart, all of that. But that probably wasn't the most productive way
Right.
for that to happen.
Right.
But like we said, communication, as long as you're talking, doing check-ins, you know, hey, what's going on? Listen, this is what I want. This is what I want our next few months to look like. This
Right.
is what I think we need to be going for. When he say, hey, listen, I want to do this. I think I should buy a house. Well, I want a house. And you're like, okay, well, we can get what you want if I get to do this.
Right.
Or if you buy a house, you know, maybe I want to go down to part-time at work and I want to go back to school. I think as long as everybody voices their needs,
Right. Yeah.
I think there's always a solution.
Right.
You have to be able to voice what you need.
Yeah.
It's okay to want something different. It's
Right.
okay, you know, to even want something that maybe you didn't previously agree on.
Right. Right.
You have every right to your desires and your wants.
Right.
But that's where the compromise of communication comes in.
Right. Yeah, because you have to discuss, you know, because you get a plan, you have to stick to the plan.
Mhm.
And
Plans change.
yeah, they do. I mean, but you have the conversation about the plan changing. Or even, you know, previously I had this desire, but now
It's a light bulb. I'm going part-time. Listen, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Sometimes those types of things need to happen.
Right.
But again, there has to be a there has to be a conversation
Right.
and then a plan of how that works
Right.
for the both of you
Right.
and for the children.
Right.
You can't just make a unilateral decision, and especially because there's two households
Right.
involved in your scenario.
Right.
So
Right.
you have to consider all the
Mhm.
moving parts.
Right.
But I mean, it's not unreasonable to want to do that.
Right.
You have the right to want something.
Right.
You have the right to desire something.
Right.
It's just a matter of discussing it and finding a healthy compromise and balance.
Right.
And
So-
this dude right here with the
so-
rights.
Yeah, just the conversations, the planning, and you know, really knowing what your spouse wants. I'll say, yeah, her life really got lost in mine, and I think, you know, my goal is to try to make some moves on it. Hey, what's up, Lisa? Make some changes so that what she needs can get done. You know, what she desires can get done. Or you shaking your head?
Because I mean, it's a noble thought, and we've talked about it. But I think, like, yeah, I just don't see that happening.
All right.
It seems like
You'll put a pin in this conversation, and
right. We definitely are gonna revisit it, but I just feel like because I've gone so far down the Anthony Walker road, I don't even know. I mean, not in the sense of me losing myself, because
Right.
trust me, I'm myself every day, no
all
matter
day,
what I'm doing.
all the time.
I just mean in the sense, where
So,
can I
yeah.
watch this episode again?
You see? Oh. Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. Purpose for Forever. That's the best place. Best place. Share that one.
Listen, I'm just saying, sometimes when so much has happened,
Right.
like I said, sometimes the plans have to change.
Right.
When you found a rhythm and it's working for your household and your family, sometimes you have to, make a decision to ride that rhythm out and, dance to that beat for a while. I guess that's what I'm kind of adjusting to.
Like I said,
I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm just saying.
We're gonna make some shifts. We're gonna talk about some things.
No, we do. We talk and we have. I mean, here's the thing. He's never gonna be able to make me do something I don't want to do.
Right.
And not that he would try,
Right.
but yeah, that's not my personality. So anything I do is definitely, something I feel is for the good of our household, our family, our children. And then, to be honest, for a lot of time that we've been together, especially in the prior years, he's done a lot of what I wanted him to do. And even when he didn't want to, he kind of did it. So in some sense, it would be very selfish of me to say, even though you've made sacrifices, I ain't willing to make none. And that's just not the type of person that I am, nor do I want that to be, what our relationship has turned into.
Right.
Where it's always just about, always just about me or what I desire. I don't ever want that to be how he feels. I don't want to ever make him feel like, his desires and his wants aren't important. That was kind of the point of the party, and I always say stuff that gets me in trouble. But, he was kind of in a funk about turning 45. He wasn't really looking.
A little bit.
Right. He wasn't really looking forward to it. And I was like, oh, no, we got to, we got to figure out.
And listen, we were on the way to dinner. What she didn't know, I was like, all right, let's go to dinner. I was like, it'll probably be someplace nice. I'll enjoy, I'll eat and smile, and we'll have a good time. We'll, I wasn't going to be a downer on all the work that she was doing.
But I know him.
Right.
So, and I tell him all the time, it's oozing off of you. I feel it.
Right.
So, he was in a funk. So I'm like, okay, so I need to do something. I celebrate him all the time. There's not a holiday that me and the kids miss because I want to teach them, how to honor us. And after a while, they're going to be grown.
Right.
We'll be withering away somewhere and they'll be living their best life. So, I have to teach them now. So we always celebrate him. But because he was in a funk and because, with the pandemic and everything that's happened and the plans that have fallen apart, I was like, I have to do something big. And so hence was the party. What did she say?
Treat a woman how she wants to be treated, and she will give you the world. Treat her like she's nothing. She would give you nothing, amplify, multiply that was given to them.
Well, I definitely agree with that end part. That, women, that's kind of like, we're made to multiply. Of course, nothing is definite. Every woman is different, but I feel like that goes both ways.
Yeah.
If you treat a man like he's unimportant and you do not need him, trust me, you will not have him.
Right.
Even if he's there, he could still be there. Right. He could be paying the bills or whatever, but that's all you'll get. Right. Yeah, fine. He may provide, he may go to work or whatever, but you will never get the totality of that man if you treat him like he's worthless. Right. So I think that applies on both sides. Right. If you treat somebody, if you treat the right person the right way, you'll get the results that you're looking for. Because sometimes you could treat a pig, you can't treat a pig like a dog. It won't work. You have to treat a pig like a pig. And so, if this person is not the right person for you, you can treat him like he's the king of the universe, and it won't matter because he's not the right person. So all of your efforts will be for nothing. And that applies to women as well. You could treat the right woman like the queen of the universe, but it won't matter because she's not the right woman. You always gonna get rotten fruit.
Right. From what you put in.
Right. So I mean it definitely it does go both ways, but you have to be sure that, you know, what did it say? Don't cast your swans. I mean, don't cast your pearls before swine.
Right.
Right. If it's a pig, let it be a pig.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Make sure you invest in the right place. You know, just and you know, you're in a relationship and invest. You know, it does. You know, what you put in is what you get out of it. What you put in, what you get out of it. I don't know. I feel like I got a bang or something.
Yeah, you did have a. Just stop that. Stop.
Oh, so
I'm sorry. His hair was bothering me. He didn't do nothing. He didn't.
I feel like it's a reflection of what you're giving.
Well, here's the thing. Like, so because, okay, so as you know, I grew up being the oldest of 5. I grew up, you know, trying to be there for the younger ones. So I've naturally become like a giver, a doer. You know, I always want to take care of somebody. Even, you know, now that y'all are grown and like, I'm grown now. You know, that's kind of become a part of who I am. So even when things were bad between us and he was a dodo bird, I still was a, hold on, I know what you're going to say before you say it. I still was a giver and a nurturer. It didn't have that same level of love in it. I mean, I did it out of habit because of that's who I was, not with a care behind it.
Right.
So I know that's what he was going to say. Like, I did it, but I wasn't all invested in it. I did it because that's a part of who I am. So I still cooked. I still did his laundry. You know, I still took care of whatever. Hey, remember, you're supposed to do this. He was like, yeah, whatever. So I feel like regardless of who he was, I tried to maintain who I am. Like, I didn't let him turn me into a raging harpy, even when I was upset. Like, that was another reason why we had to part ways, because it was getting to the point where I was going to be bitter and angry, and it was going to be unproductive all the way around. So it was important to detach from the situation before I became somebody that I didn't even recognize. Because when that happens, I mean, I could say, oh, you made me this way. Yeah, but people can't really make you. You know, we have decisions that we had to make. And I decided that I wasn't going to let him reduce me to something else. Because then he's won. Even if we're not together, you've won. If you change me into somebody I never wanted to be, you win. You the MVP. Because now you done gone on with your life, and I'm over here bitter with kids.
Yeah, I still lost. I gotta. Still always fight with the kids.
But if you leave and then you not looking back, it doesn't matter. Because a lot of times when that happens, he just keep going.
Right. Let's see.
Okay, man.
Oh,
I'm sorry. These shirts were exclusively for the couples that went on the couples retreat. Team Walker. Wait, you see that year? Turn around, baby. Turn around. No, the other way. Team Walker. What year is that? What that say? Getaway 2021. You holler at us, Getaway 2022, and maybe we'll get you a shirt. I was with to the bitter part. He said never. He said, that makes sense. Listen, somebody said to me today, I was talking to them, and he was like, oh my gosh, you and Anthony are so great together. And I was like, are we? I mean, it's not like I don't recognize we have been through quite a journey. But it's been a lot of years. What, 25, 26 years? I mean, it's been a lot of years. So, when you think about the span of time, I feel like there's always going to be a lot going on. But I think what has always saved us is because we spent so much time being friends before he tried to get my cookies.
Jesus.
I mean, before we got married. What is that? I'm just saying we did. We spent a lot of years as friends before we even started dating and got married.
Okay.
So before there was any cookies on the table, we were friends. Listen, that's important. People need to understand, like, foundation is important.
Yes.
You have to have something to hold the relationship up. Because although you may love somebody, there's times that you won't like them. Because there's times that I don't really like you right now. I think you need to go take a walk. And it happens. And that's real because we're all human. So that's a natural progression, friend zone. And then the cookies. What? He said, that's what you thought?
He said good night.
Love you, Joy. Listen, I'm just being honest. If you start a relationship with cookies on the table, right? Where does the relationship have to go? Because when things are bad, y'all not eating the cookies on the table. So then there's it makes it easier. I mean, let's be honest.
You're right. I'm with you. Yeah, because you got it. What are you building on? What is your relationship built on?
When things are bad, you're not really active. He said, Bill. When things are bad, you're not physically active. When you're not speaking, you definitely ain't touching. So if the relationship is just built on the milk and cookies, then there's gonna come a time where there's a real breakdown. Really, he came in with cookies on the table. Of course, that would be the point where you came in. There was so much other positive conversation. And y'all just grab onto the cookies. I'm done.
But yeah, I mean, Sam is on point. Like, what is the foundation of what you're building? Because a lot of times relationships crumble when they lack that foundation.
Cookies crumble.
See, I didn't even say that. She said that. I wasn't even going up to the cookies crumble, but that's what happens. That's how the cookie crumbles. But you have to build it upon, a friendship or some kind of relationship. A friendship. You gotta have a friendship. She said, "I know what."
She said, "It's so funny." They really have trouble focusing, don't they? Listen, at the end of the day, just like when you get ready to build a house, there has to be a solid foundation. The same should be said of your relationship. You can't build a house and then try to put a relationship. Try to put a foundation on top of the house. The foundation has to be first. And so we had a really strong foundation of friendship, all the way through high school. So we had a whole lot to kind of revert to. So that's why I feel that's kind of always why things never got super bitter between us. Because even when I really couldn't stand the husband man, a lot of times I looked at him and I saw my friend. I remembered, the times that he was there for me and the conversations and the hanging out and that type of stuff. So it made a big difference.
It did. And it really kept us together. Conversations, because, it's crazy. Even when we going through, we can go hang out like friends almost, It's like, regardless of what's going on. What did you say?
All right. So the next time when I'm in your comments giving y'all the business, just think about that, because y'all gonna pay for these comments. Just know that. Tomorrow morning I'll be up 8:55 with my fingers ready.
Oh man,
yes, Tina. That's the important part. A real foundation.
Oh, so appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we're supposed to be talking about. We got so off track
We're just celebrating.
with the comments.
So-
But you know, to the point, it is important to celebrate your spouse. He can tell you he was at a job. Don't do that because it might be viable comments. You know, he was at Costco for 13 years. And, you know, once we had kids or whatever, he'd tell you every year on his job anniversary, me and the kids would show up.
Right.
With a stupid hat, celebration.
Right.
You know, because I wanted to celebrate. It was an accomplishment.
Right.
You know, when you have a man that does what he's supposed to, keep a job.
Right.
You know, ladies, and I know you feel like, well, that's what he's supposed to do. Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with saying, I appreciate that you do what you're
Right.
supposed to do.
Right.
Because there are so many that don't.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with, you know, like there's times he cook. I come home, especially when I was, you know, working before. Sometimes I come home every day and I'm like, this has been a terrible week.
Right.
And so he's had to cook and do the homework, and he'd have the kids giving me space. It's nothing wrong with saying, hey, you know what, Daddy, you did such a great job this week holding it down. Because everybody, right, Keita, it's the small things.
It does. It matters.
Everybody wants to be celebrated,
Right.
even for the things that we have to do.
Right.
Like, you know, if nobody works, everybody's hungry. But it's still, you know, when I get up and I go to work, I still want, you know, I want him to say, like, hey, babe, like it meant a lot when I had a hard day and I come home and he already cooked. Like, it wasn't like, oh, well, you went to work. We still got to eat.
Right.
Cooking and assisting with homework keeps.
So many comments.
Well, I thought he was saying something viable.
Almost.
So, I
Almost.
mean, I
Almost
feel
there.
like, you know, it's like Keita said, it's the small things that gives your relationship longevity.
Yes.
So, yeah, I celebrated every year that he was at his job. And even when he left, although I was scared to death, I celebrated all that too.
Right.
He left, he stepped out to do his own thing. I celebrated, and I celebrated big. Like,
Yeah.
I had a cake made.
Right.
I had friends over.
Right.
I got a card so everybody could write something encouraging for him on his journey, because I wanted him to know he had our love and support.
Right.
And I think sometimes we miss opportunities because we think, well, he's supposed to keep a job. You know, the man's supposed to take out the trash. He's not babysitting his own kids. And I don't believe a man can babysit his own kids.
Right.
But at the same time, there's several men that just don't bother. So because I have a good man and I have a good husband, you know, I like to celebrate him. Even sometimes when it's time to go out, I'm like, I'm going to pay today.
Right.
I'm going to take you out. Let me
Right.
take you to lunch.
Right.
Let me take you to breakfast. And yeah, it's all the same money. It all comes from the household.
Right.
But the idea
Yeah.
is, you know, that makes him feel good.
Right. Right. So it's important to celebrate. And to do it's all about the little things. And even when it's the off seasons, you know, doing the little things on a Monday, the breakfast or a card or a note, just taking time. You know, her thing is spending that time and the quality, you know, not rushing through the moments.
Right, Tina. Never forget to appreciate each other.
Right.
Because nobody owes you nothing. I don't care what you have convinced yourself.
Right.
Nobody owes you nothing. Yes, he promised to be my husband and he promised to love me to death, but he doesn't owe me. He could easily walk away. People have done it.
Right.
We've seen it. We've
Right.
heard stories.
Right.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
So I definitely take conscious efforts not to forget that he doesn't owe me, you know, being a good man. He doesn't owe me that.
Right.
He could be a dirtbag. There's plenty of them.
Right. All right. So yeah,
Those are
it's
people.
it's important to make sure you're celebrating your spouse, appreciating them, and getting back to kind of the original part of the conversation, kind of just having the conversation.
Let's put up a decent comment, because
He said, "I like the subject tonight."
y'all gonna get blocked. All the brothers of Legacy gonna be blocked.
a game changer in a relationship. Yeah.
Right, Fletcher. It does
Yeah.
make a difference.
It does.
Because then it's like, hey, when them cookies on the table, you like, oh, I got the milk. What? I mean, that's the truth. Think
Right.
about it. That little stuff,
Right.
it make cookies and milk night even better. Listen, Annie, we adults. Stop laughing.
I'm just saying.
We adults. We married.
I get it. All right. I ain't saying not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the cookie comments. All right. All right.
You're about as hopeless as they are sometimes.
I'm just saying you was talking about the cookie comments. All right. So we appreciate you guys rocking and hanging with us. Make sure you watch Sisters of Legacy tomorrow at 8:30.
Yes, we have 2 therapists on. We're going to be talking about mental health since May is Mental Health Month,
Right.
and our therapist will show up. Oh, that's because your people's bother me. So yes, we'll have our therapist on tomorrow, Tuesday. So if you're free at 8:30, please check in and
Make sure you join our community. Text LWN to 84576, and you'll get a notification as well to when we start.
right. And May is also Lupus Awareness
Yes.
Month. We have someone that we know, we went to high school with,
Right.
and we're close to, who actually, I don't know if suffers is the right word,
Yeah.
who has
Yes.
lupus. And she's going to be on the following Tuesday to talk about her journey and her triumphs and her hurdles. So definitely keep tuned for Sisters of Legacy Tuesday nights, 8:30, where the people show up when they're supposed to be there.
Whatever. So we'll see you in the morning at 9 a.m. for Brothers of Legacy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, wow. All right, keep it.
I didn't know that.
So, yeah, we definitely look forward to seeing you guys more and more. If you need to know what LWN, that's Legacy Walker Network, that we're building on. Some
Yeah,
great stuff.
something else he's working on. My genius.
All right.
That was good.
It was good.
I made it.
Okay. That looks
See how he do me? See how celebrating somebody could go very wrong. And of course, Purposeful Forever, we're on every Monday night
Yes.
at 8 p.m. Listen, guys, we thank you guys for your support. The comments, most of them are dope. We love when the audience gets involved and when you guys, put up comments and have things, constructive things to add. It is great. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight. You made me not feel as tired as I truly am. He can't.
I always behave.
He can't. So until next week,
Love intentionally
love unconditionally
and love on
on
purpose.
purpose.
Me and you